All right, guys, today we're going to be making my favorite vegan comfort food, cauliflower wings. So we're going to start with one head of cauliflower, go ahead and wash it thoroughly and pat it dry. I like to use napkins because it's just easier to soak it all up. And so once you have it all dried, go ahead and start cutting your wing, quote unquote, wing chunks. So I go ahead, the way I do it is I go ahead and slice it into slices, like bigger chunks, and then I go ahead and pull it apart. So after you've sliced it, you can go ahead and pull it apart. It does get kind of messy, so it is better that you put it on a cutting board. But when I pull it apart, I do like to kind of keep the pieces rather large just so I can get that wing feel, and it's just easier. You'll see later on in the recipe why it's easier to do bigger chunks and what it'll look like in the end. If it is kind of hard to pull apart, you're more than welcome to slice it, but I kind of like the organic look of the cauliflower when it's pulled apart. Starting with our batter, we are going to do some flour. We're going to add paprika, pepper, pink sea salt, cumin, and garlic powder. Once you have all that, go ahead and incorporate all the dry ingredients and the seasoning. So the flour and all the seasonings, we're going to incorporate it really well because this is really where the seasoning is going to come from. And then we're going to go ahead and add, that was almond milk that I added. And so you can use soy milk, but as long as it's unsweetened, plain flavor. Now I add a little bit of water as I go, just because I don't want to make the batter too runny, but I also don't want it too thick. So it's really your judgment call on how thick or thin you would like the batter, but I like to keep mine pretty thick, and this is basically the consistency that I want it to look like. Thin, but still with some texture to it, not too thin, not too runny. So once that's all done, it's time to go ahead and dip our cauliflower. So you're going to dip it in the wet batter, and then you're going to dip it in the breadcrumbs. Now I like to use panko breadcrumbs because it gives you that nice crunchy texture. I've tried it with regular breadcrumbs, and honestly, nothing is like the panko breadcrumbs. So when it comes to deep frying, I'm going to go ahead and use the panko breadcrumbs all the time. Like, I've used it on everything, and it just works the best. So while I'm doing this, I actually already have my deep fryer going, and I already have the oil getting hot. So make sure you actually do that. I probably should have showed that in the beginning, but y'all, my bad. So I'm going to go ahead and finish breading all of these, and look how much cauliflower wings, quote unquote, like it made. This one head of cauliflower, which is just a few dollars, made all of these. I would recommend breading them all and then going ahead and put them in the deep fryer. So I am using a rather large deep fryer, but if you do have more of a personal size deep fryer, you may not be able to fit as many, especially with the larger pieces, but that's definitely okay. You don't want to overcrowd it. So as long as there's a little space in between, it'll work perfect. As you can see, the grease is hot, and I used vegetable oil. And so I went ahead and covered it, and it honestly only takes maybe 3 minutes or so, especially because the grease, you want enough in there for it to cover the entire cauliflower. And look at it, it's just perfectly brown, perfectly crispy, and honestly, it doesn't even look like cauliflower anymore. It definitely looks like a chicken nugget or a wing. And so you can tell, like, the texture of it is very crunchy, and I think that's my favorite thing about this recipe, is that they're not soft, like it's actually crunchy. You can leave the cauliflower wings exactly like this without saucing them because they're definitely still flavorful. Just because, we did go ahead and season the batter, so it does have seasoning to it. And so if you have kids who like, quote unquote, chicken nuggets, this would be a great alternative. But for me, I'm actually going to sauce these wings in this particular recipe. But before I do that, I definitely want to show you how crunchy it is and the texture and what it actually looks like, because a lot of people don't believe that cauliflower wings can actually be satisfying, and I am definitely here to prove y'all wrong. So watch me literally bite into this cauliflower and look how great and yummy it looks. I told y'all, now I'm about to take it to another level. So now I'm gonna actually sauce the wings. Now I actually am using a teriyaki sauce, and I use the PF Chang's brand. You can actually buy any teriyaki sauce you like, I got mine from the local grocery store, but you can use lemon pepper, like a wet lemon pepper sauce. You can use barbecue sauce. You can use hot wing sauce. You can really use anything with this recipe, but for this one, I love anything Asian inspired, so I'm gonna do teriyaki. And when it comes to saucing it, it's really simple. You're gonna use the tongs as I've been using the whole recipe, and you're just going to sauce it. Literally put it in the sauce and roll it around and sauce it, okay? I don't like to spare any sauce. Like, I really like mine saucy. If you actually like a little thinner sauce, you can actually pour water in this and thin it out. But look, there it is. This is what it comes out to be, and this is what it looks like. Doesn't it look so good? I mean, when I tell you these are the best, this is like one of my favorite recipes, I promise you. And I love aesthetics, so I went ahead and threw some sesame seeds on there. If you guys do decide to try this recipe, make sure that you tag me and comment and tell me how good it is, because I would really like to get your feedback on it. It's so good.